Yo, welcome to Networking with Nathaniel, a podcast where I get to dive deep into the journeys of entrepreneurs, real estate investors, business owners, just movers and shakers who are making waves in their industries. So, whether you're an entrepreneur yourself, a real estate investor, or someone who's just looking to grow, looking to level up, you've come to the right place. I'm Nathaniel Hovsepian, host of Networking with Nathaniel. I'm a real estate investor, a health and wellness coach for busy dads, more importantly, a father and a husband. While I've done real estate, I've helped others do real estate. I've helped dads take control of their health and wellness through nutrition and movement. This show is not about me. This podcast is not about me. It's about the amazing guests that I get to chat with, learn about what their successes are, what they've struggled with, and the journeys that have gotten them to where they're at currently. This week is no different. I'm excited to sit down and chat with a growing friend of mine, Chino Monte, who is in the Vegas area helping out homeless veterans and homeless people alike. Chino, welcome to Networking with Nathaniel. Appreciate you for being here, brother.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. And
Yeah,
thank you
I
for
know
sharing
we're
this.
We're recording this ahead of time. Normally they're live, but I made a little scheduling mistake and
It happens.
yeah, said yes to something I shouldn't have said yes to with a time change. But yeah, it happens, and we're being adaptable and we're adjusting. So I did a little intro on you there, but can you just give us a little brief history of kind of where you've been and where you're at currently?
Sure. My name's Chino Monte, and we're right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are building our foundation specifically to help the less fortunate. We are not just housing them. We have built ecosystem in every angle possible so that we can help them progress forward.
This is something that so we met at Squad Up Summit. This is something that has been weighing on me for a while now, being a veteran, having gone through some situations after getting out of the Marine Corps and being fortunate enough that I was able to navigate that. What it sounds like you're doing is you're helping people navigate a lot of these things that can't or otherwise haven't figured out how to do so themselves.
Right.
Yeah. So tell
Exactly.
me, like, how does somebody come in? So you're providing housing for them. You're also providing disability support, mental health. Like, can you give me a gamut of all the things that you're kind of doing?
Sure. I always start off with meeting where they're at. I never want to impose anything. I just want to be their friend
Mm,
because you never know what they're going through. It all started when I asked for a blessing. So, just for the record, and I know this is being recorded, I am not religious. I am spiritual, and I have a very special connection with him.
mm.
So, I talked to him and I treat him like one of the homies because he is. And up until 3 weeks ago, I've only had two blessings that I asked. One was when I saw my dream car. It was a Mazda 3. Saw it on TV and asked for that blessing. I was like, yo, if you could give me that, I promise you to take care of people who are stranded on the side of the road. Right. And so we did. I got my car, and I was making not that much money. Right. And for years, I would do that. And I still do. Whenever I would see people on the side of the road, I would help them out, especially because now
Mm.
I travel with my tools. Um, and then I did that for years because that's all I could afford. Right. So you also got to meet yourself where you're at currently,
Mm.
not just with the people that you're helping, right? Not just with the people that you're meeting. So you have to know your capacity. However, that didn't stop me, right? Out in the rain, I would do it. Out in 200 degrees in Vegas, I would do it. Negative 20 degrees in Vegas, I would do it. Right? So because that was the promise to me.
Mm.
And the second dream was the second blessing that I asked for. Told me, like, I think I'm ready to make more money now. Could you please bless me with that? and I promise you to take care of your other kids. And so he did, right? I started making $14 an hour plus tips. I made a ton of money because I was a bartender slash server. And so I started packing sandwiches and handing them out with bottled water back in 2017 by myself. Did that for years until my friends, homies cornered me. They're like, "Well, yo, like we haven't seen you in a while. You know what you been up to, right?" Because I have an addictive personality, right? When
Mm,
once I'm in doing something, I'm in all the way. I'm hyper
mm,
focused. Yeah, right. That's why
yeah.
like I don't like distraction, right? And I'll tell you about it later on more. And so I did it for years, right? The homies cornered me. They wanted to know what I was doing, and then finally I told them like, "All right, you must know." And Packers sandwiches have been handing them out with bottled water, right? And and like, wow, I want to be involved, right? So one by one, I would take them with me so that they could get involved
Mm,
until one person stood up for me, anyways, because the mindset wasn't ready. So they started recording me, and when I caught them recording me, I was mad. So I'm like, "Don't you dare post that anyway." And this was before I got into social media, right? Because I didn't like social media. I didn't want no exposure, nothing like that, right? And they were like, "Well, why not? Like, it's awareness, for everyone." And I said, "Listen to me. You are aware there's individuals out here starving, not having any blankets, not having anything, with their thoughts."
mm,
Said they know if they truly want to help, they don't need to see it on social media. They will do it on their own.
yeah.
So for a while, I did that. Like I stopped bringing people with me until, of course, our great mentor Pace Morby challenged me. um, he asked me when he came to Vegas, when Sir came to Vegas, Pace and I got close, like really close. We even cried together. That's how close we've gotten.
Uh,
Right? We'll pick him up my tetanus Tacoma truck, 1995 Tacoma truck, and then one day he was like, "Chino, what do you do for a living, bro?" I said, "Real estate." He goes, "No, everyone does real estate. Everyone says real estate. None of my team knows what you're doing, what you do for a living." I was like, "You guys have been looking me up?" I'm like, "Wow." I'm like, "Well, my team knows who I deal with, so it's part of vetting them." I'm like, "Okay."
yeah.
I was like, "All right, please." And housing the less fortunate. That's what I did for a living. I get paid housing the less fortunate. And he goes, "That's awesome." He goes, "Why don't you talk about it? Post it on social media." And I said, "Because of the Karens, because of the jealousy, in this industry, I don't want to risk my people. Right? I don't want them to get exposed. You want people looking, my properties up, And he goes, "Find a way." I said, "I don't know, bro. He goes, "Listen, you are robbing yourself from your own future growth. And if you don't share it on social media, you're gonna help less people than you would have. You're gonna help a lot of people. Show them what you do so
Yeah.
that people can relate. Then people want to get involved with you." And I was like, "Okay, I'll work on that, right?" And whenever I say I'll work on that, I will work on that, and I did. Listen to his advice, of course, and as soon as I started doing it, it started taking off. It started catching like wildfire. It's crazy. And that's when fear started kicking in. And I
Mm,
don't and I don't do fear. I'm not scared tackling real estate. I'm not scared talking to people. You know what I mean? Like there's only a few fears that I have. One, the number one fear that I have is exposing my people. Number two is stage, which I've been working stage fright. Yesterday, I was asked to speak at a private event. I was their keynote speaker.
yeah.
What keynote speaker was until Pace told us what it was. So I was their main speaker, for the event. So I've gotten better, like speaking in front of everyone, but I've also gotten better at dealing with the fear of exposing my people. I got smarter, right? Like I got clever, and then as well as bringing in the right people in my team, right? To a point where like now my team is thinking for me, right? Okay, we protect our leader, we protect our visionary, right?
Yeah.
So they're finding ways, to do that, which is amazing. Um, so fast forward to today, when I tell you that you have to meet them where they're at, because you can't just go out there and then tell them like, hey, we'll be happy. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Like number one, they don't know you,
Yeah.
right? Number two, they don't know you. That's it. It's never even about you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Well, people always like ask me like, just for your own safety. I'm like, no. I'm like, because I got him.
Yeah. I'm out here doing his work. He's got my back.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this is what he told me to do. So like, I gotta do it. Like I asked for this. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
it's like when people reach out to me and ask me, like, Chino, I've always wanted to do what you've been doing. I'm like, bro, what's stopping you? You know what I
Mm.
mean? Well, I don't know the process. What do you mean? What do you know the process? Just talk to them. Well, I don't know what to say. How about this? Hi, and it's Chino Monte.
Start like a toddler. Like, hey,
Yeah,
my name's Chino. What's your name?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like, bro, I don't know if I told you that. I don't know what exactly we talked about last time we did this. Did I tell you about that young man outside of a hospital?
I don't think so.
No?
I
Okay.
don't think
Since
so.
this is being recorded and you're going to release this,
Yeah.
um, when I say meet them where they're at, you really have to. And you have to feel that from your heart. You have to lead with compassion. So when I took a gentleman to a hospital for rehabilitation, I noticed there was a young man outside, right, just sitting on the curb. I'm like, okay, if he's still out here, then I'm with this gentleman. I'll take care of him. Right? I'll see what I can do. So I got done. I was admitting that individual to the hospital, and I walked out. The young man was still there, and then I walked towards him and knocked my head, and then I was like, he was asking for cigarettes. I was like, nah, bro, I don't smoke. I don't have cigarettes. Sorry. He goes, all right. I said, "May I sit right next to you?" And he goes, yeah. And then I sat down right next to him. Mind you, this young man didn't have any sign of being homeless. Very clean, right? Not, doesn't did not smell, right? Nothing, just clean. But something told me to talk to him, and and so I did. And I sat right next to him, and then sat down. I looked at him. He looked at me, and I just asked. I just asked a second question, and I said two words. I said, "You good?"
Mm.
Right when I said that, he took a pause, and then he just started crying. And then he was like, just started bawling. He goes, I've been homeless for 9 years. I am now 26 years old. Not a single person asked me that question sincerely.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Always meet them where they're at. And he started telling me where he's staying at. He stays in one of the tunnels in Las Vegas. Particularly, he's staying over in the East Las Vegas tunnels. I did not know that they had tunnels in that area. And I have a house in that area. That house actually is being utilized for two homeless families. Well, now they're not homeless, right? So I place people in there. I was like, 17 years old.
Yeah.
They told me that they came from our failed system called foster care. Bro, did you know that 80% of homelessness population comes from here?
No, that's wow.
Yeah.
This, for lack of a better word, skill that you have in meeting these people where they're at, is that something that you just were born with, or is that something that you've learned over the years by not meeting them where they were at?
So I've always had the mentality of I don't take no for an answer.
Mm,
That includes me connecting with you. That includes me connecting with the other person. One way or another, I will connect with you because I'm very intentional. I don't just say, "Hey, what's the weather like up there?" You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, and I always tell, like my friends, like, when you do this, make sure that you do this wholeheartedly, right? Because they have a lot of questions, right? I got interviewed by another podcast the other day, and I don't want to talk bad. However, she was asking about the systems, right? What is your system, Gino? What is your system? How do you do things? What's it afterwards? I said, listen to me. The fact that you're asking me that, you just don't understand
Mm,
that nothing, no systems matter. If you cannot connect with the other person at a human level, you will not succeed doing this. I've seen many, many people before I went public with this, before Pace told me, to share it with the world. I had already shared this with at least 10 investors
mm,
within the community. And each one came back and blamed me for their failure. They said, I didn't know that they could go back to drugs. I didn't know that they could be sneaking alcohol.
yeah.
I didn't know that, they may not have money next month. I said, and I would say, well, did you humanize that conversation with them to begin with? You can't systemize people.
Yeah.
If systemizing people worked, then it would have worked a long time ago because we already tried that. It's called the projects.
Yeah, those haven't worked out so well.
Yeah. Instead, it created a great divide within our
Yeah.
country. I'm from the hood. I know what life's about. 2 doors away from me was a drug dealer. Guy had two nice cars. Meanwhile, I had a beat up Saturn because that's all I could afford. I was living in a $425 one bedroom, one bathroom apartment in a 425 square foot, $1 per square foot. And you're telling me, you're 2 doors away from me, you have a BMW and a Mercedes,
Yeah.
right? And then you got busted. I said, I'm from the hood. I know what it's like to live in the hood. And if you're
Yeah.
not connected with us, we shut you
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Do you think that that gives you a unique place to be able to talk to these people from?
No, you don't need to come from the hood in order for you to connect with the less fortunate. Absolutely not. You just need to open up wholeheartedly, right? Like screw your barriers, screw your walls. Like, there's no reason for you to have that. You're there to serve others, right? That's why like I'm so passionate about this, especially because our veterans, in my opinion, um, they have it the worst.
I lost you for like a minute, Chino. Did
Oh,
you?
you did?
Yeah, it went black on my end.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So good. Well, okay. What did you hear me last?
I hope well, I was asking about the compassion thing and then it went black on my end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Darn. Are we still? Yeah, we're recording
It's
still. All
recording.
right.
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay. Sweet. I'm glad. I hope that your end recorded and it just was me looking silly on the other end. Um, yeah, so shoot. So I missed your answer, I guess, kind of. It was
Yes.
yeah,
What was the question?
it was you we were talking about needing to be from, the hood or the projects, but
Yeah,
you mentioned no, and I was kind of inferring, you had mentioned the word compassion earlier on. It seems like coming from a place of compassion and sitting down next to that person on the steps, being able to just say 2 words and get them to open up, he was able to feel that, "Okay, this is somebody who's actually here listening to me. He's not just a
yeah,
passerby."
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter, where you come from, right? Whether you come from the suburbs, right, or
Yeah.
the very nice neighborhood in Las Vegas or wherever you're at, doesn't matter, bro. You know what I mean?
So how does somebody, or maybe it's the other way around, find you or you're finding them? How do these people end up in your charge, in a house under, Chino's wing, getting the help that they need?
So let me share a story with you about a veteran that knocked on our door yesterday at 4 a.m. Today is Wednesday, May 7th. Right now it's 5:41 a.m. my time. So yesterday was May 6th, Tuesday. At 4 a.m., somebody knocked on our door in one of our houses. And it was this veteran that we have helped in the past that out of nowhere, right? Because of an uncomfortable situation, he just took off, right? And he came back a month later. It was raining out really hard here in Vegas for the past 2 days. And the fact that we have created a family culture in each household to treat everyone as our family, it sticks in their head to treat everyone that their family, not like their family, that their family. So they broke rule number one to never let anyone in, right? So the whole household breached their contract.
Mm,
And my business partner, Abe, and I, we had this discussion. I said, you understand that they breached their contract, all of them. However, I'm not going to punish them for that because we have created this family culture. They
mm,
saw a family member needing help. So, based on the first three rules that we created, right? This is the rule that I created when I was brought back in by my other business partners, right? Because I had already left, right, to do other things in real estate. I created this rule because I believe it was needed. Um, Three rules. You must learn how to love. I guess one rule, but three identification. You must learn how to love, respect, and protect each other like family. Love, respect, and protect. So they opened the door for this gentleman, and I'm glad that they did. I'm so happy that they broke our rule of never open the door to anyone without letting us know who it is, especially if they've already lived there, right?
mm.
And they did that, bro. Like I was so happy. You know what I mean? Like, that's our family member right there. Let him in, right? They
Yeah.
did, right? And so we had a conversation with him, right? That's why, like, when I told you, like, bro, it's so difficult for me to do podcasts after 7 a.m. because I have to reserve that time for our homeless vets, right? Because they need it. At any given moment, they're going to need, our help, right? And I
Yeah.
have to be there to guide my operators because I'm still training some of our operators, right? How to lead with compassion, right? Like don't just assess everyone, per our, checklist. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we did that, told my business partner like we'll give ourselves another chance to work with him. This time will be better, right?
Mm.
It's never about you, your security when you're doing this. It's always about the people that you're serving, regardless how you look at it. It's always about them, right? If they made some mistakes in the past, forgive them. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, your sins are no better than theirs.
How how do you balance this? And I'm thinking of it from a couple different perspectives, but the big one is the serving the people versus keeping the lights on, essentially making money at this. How do you balance that from that perspective? How do you balance it from the compassion versus a protocol, essentially?
Yeah,
Um, because I would imagine, not having done what you're doing, that there is a protocol that you have to abide. Like, hey, if you're drinking and you're partying, you can't do you. This isn't the place for that.
right.
So yeah, how do you balance these things? I want to serve and I want to help other people out, but I also like this is still a business. It's
Yeah.
still yeah.
So if you're not a visionary, partner up with one because you will lose your behind. It's the visionary's responsibility. It's their solution that will get you out of that hole because we see things a little differently, right? And not always systematic. I'm not. That,
Mm,
that's why you kept talking to my assistant Amanda, right? And I didn't hire my assistant. My business partners did. They saw the need, right? They're like, Chino, we're growing a lot faster than we anticipated. We're gonna hire an assistant for you. You're paying for
yeah.
it. You know what I mean? So my job in return, I better perform. I'm the visionary of the company. I better perform. So when the federal funds were frozen, we've never received a single penny, by the way, from any government subsidies. Never.
Mm,
Been doing this for years, collectively with other business partners for over 10 years now. Me myself, I've been doing this for over 4 years. So
mm,
we've always find a way to connect both the compassion of serving others and then make money somehow. So what I've done, especially recently, I've connected with different organizations, private companies that provide services, right? Like whether if it is behavioral, mental, medical, whatever it may be. And then I have a meeting with them, like, hey, it's very difficult for certain individuals to pay their dues, right? Because I don't call them renters. Our people are not renters, right? Um, they need help. If you want more patients to be sent your way, I promise you, I perform. I know how to perform. They just need a bed to lay their head on. And that comes with a price, as you already know. And then they tell me, we'll pay for it.
mm.
Yeah,
You're so it sounds like it's almost like a spot. It's almost a spot. They're sponsoring an individual in a sense.
that's correct.
Oh,
Uh,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, and so you're going out to the community and getting the community to help out the community.
that's correct.
Yeah, that's pretty visionary. On these lines of the balancing the compassion with the business side, there is also um, the balancing of your own emotions. At least I could imagine, and maybe this isn't something that you've gotten over as you've been doing this a long time. That you can't meeting everybody where they're at means that you're not going to be able to help everybody.
That's correct.
So how do you balance that? Are there any things that you've done to get over that? Is that still something that you're dealing with, that you're struggling with?
So it's never a struggle of mine. Never. Because I don't let struggles occupy my brain.
Yeah.
Okay. There's always a solution, right? So number one, I don't take no for an answer. It's always a long yes.
Mm,
No's are always long yeses. Whether I'm gonna have to help them today or tomorrow. That's always been
yeah.
my mindset.
Yeah. Sorry. Some of these things you say, I got to write down. No, those are only, this is, those are only long yeses is very applicable to people that are calling, making, cold calling sellers, cold calling agents. You just haven't found out what led them to that no yet. And maybe it's just a time thing, right? You
Correct.
may have sat down with that person on the step and said, I forget what exactly said, you good?
Yeah.
And maybe he doesn't open to you up to you that time,
Hmm.
but because you didn't take that as a no, you just took it that as he's not ready to say yes right now. You see him again and you ask him next time and he goes, "Yeah, I remember this guy."
Yeah.
And so he opens up to you. That's pretty dope. Okay. What is what does like kind of the future look like for you? I guess where are you guys at now with
Hmm.
what you're needing, and then what does the future, the next 12, 36 months look like?
Sure. So, as of last week, I told my team, brace yourself. We are branching out to Oregon. And they pooped a little in their diapers.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like, like, are you sure? I'm like, don't ever ask me that question ever again.
Hmm.
I said,
I wouldn't promise you.
I need you guys to work faster and more efficient, right? I'm going to take Pace's words. You're not overwhelmed. You are inefficient. So get better at it.
Hmm.
So
Any reason why Oregon?
blue states. So we're going to third blue states from Nevada, from here Vegas. We're going to branch out to blue states.
Okay.
Oregon in particular, because we have a business partner there. Shout out to Michael Kim, badass, right? I'm gonna plug Michael Kim in shamelessly because that's one of the homies of all the people that I've ever worked with, especially TCs, right? But investors in general. Michael Kim has only been the person that's been able to challenge my brain, and I can get really creative.
Hmm.
So he's always my what if guy, right? He's not negative. He's my what if guy. He's keeping me safe, right? That's his.
Yeah.
All of my business partners' priority is to protect me. So they're trying to keep me safe from everything that could potentially harm me or
Hmm.
on the way there, right? So Michael Kim has always been that right there. Like, and he tells others, if I'm not there, he would say, if I were Chino and I know Chino, he would do this, right? And then I have my business operator, Abe, right? So they go hand in hand together. They go side by side when it comes to making decisions when I'm not there, right? But Michael Kim has always been that person for me.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah,
So you're going to be moving into Oregon. Are you kind of essentially replicating just what you've done in Vegas? Is this going to be something new?
correct. We are replicating everything. Create the
Okay.
foundation here first, and then clone it, and then open it up nationwide, like different branches in every major city in the country.
Okay. What are you foreseeing being some struggles, some obstacles that you're going to overcome?
It'll be my teammates. That what I could foresee is the challenges that they could see because they can't. You know, if you're not a visionary, unfortunately, you can't get past certain walls, right? You can't see into the future a lot further than a visionary.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly reminding them, like, trust the visionary, right? Trust the visionary. We're not just coming up with plans because we feel like it. Like
Yeah.
there's a method to this madness. Your job is to create the systems. Yeah,
As the visionary, yeah, you kind of mentioned, Michael, that you have these people in place that are keeping you safe. Is
mhm.
that, yeah, I mean, is that kind of bringing you back down to really reality sometimes, or is that no? Just we're trying to push you up further into your reality. We're just making sure that there's no stars that are going to hit you on your way up.
Right. So I respect the crap out of them, for doing what they do best. right? They're already amazing at what they do, right?
Mm,
But the way they keep me safe is incredible, right? They don't hold me back necessarily,
mm,
right? They anchor me down. They anchor me down because sometimes I can go way too fast, right? So what they're telling me is like, just wait. We still need to create systems for this ecosystem that you just created 5 seconds ago. I don't know if you caught this on one of Pace's wholesale hotline with Brett Daniels and Jamil, right? And I think they were looking for Pace, and I guess Pace, I don't know if he was flying and he hadn't landed yet. And then Brett Daniels made a comment. It's like, if you're looking for Pace, he's probably out there creating a new business, right? Because that's what visionaries do, just create another system, right? Another ecosystem. So I'm always creating something, but it is interconnected with everything that we do, right? So, bro, so last time we connected, um, it's not just housing, right? I think I told you about job coaching, resume building, job placement.
yep.
So it's not just that anymore. Now we're providing medical services through our affiliates, right? And it's not just medical services. It's not just sending them doctors or what have you. Now we're partnering up with other medical services that provide wound care, right? Matter of fact, some of them are sending cleaners to our houses for free. The reason why is because they need to perform in a clean environment, not that we have slum properties. No, we have beautiful properties. However, certain individuals, they have a habit of not cleaning after themselves. Even though we tell them, and then they do pick up after themselves, they just need to make sure that the medical professional that they're sending, right, these agencies, they're in a clean environment because they can't perform their job if it is not clean, right? If there's spillage, that kind of stuff. So now they send their cleaners in, to our properties, which is pretty amazing. And I
Mm,
told them, our houses are generally very clean because we trained our people to give them chores. You know what I mean? Like how to perform, how to clean something, that kind of, like small tasks, right?
yeah.
And then same token, I added more things. So sobriety community events. We started doing that since last time we talked. And
Mm,
then we went heavy on family outings. So now we don't just celebrate our people, their birthday, their welcome home celebration, when they join us, their birthday, right? Holidays. We don't just celebrate those anymore. Now we have family outings. We take them out to shows, right? So this Friday we're scheduled to take them out to, I don't know, some sort of virtual reality show that my business partner Abe, came across and like, hey, we're taking family members, to the show. I'm like, great, let's do it. So
yeah.
yeah, having that team that has your back, that always, think outside the box, makes it so much easier, like for me, as the
Yeah.
visionary. Because like I
Yeah.
don't have to coming up with things anymore, right? They know that, like, okay, so Chino's doing this, for our family members, maybe we should, like create something that can attach to that, right? So they know that, like we just will celebrate, give them birthday celebration, right? Like we're scheduled to do a pool party, even though none of them are allowed to use the pool. They're only allowed to use the pool when we're around.
Mm,
Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So we legit cover our pools, right?
Yeah.
No one can get on it. You can walk on the cover. That's how sturdy it is, right? So like all these things, right? We just keep coming up with things, to keep humanizing that experience with it.
Yeah.
Because the last thing that you want to do, if whoever's watching this, if you want to do this in the near future, wherever you're at, do it. But the last thing you want to do is just treat them like they're your regular renters. You don't do that. You're not going to succeed that way because they will
Right.
feel disconnect, right? When they feel that disconnect, they go back to what they've known, what they've done for years, which is in their thoughts, and now they're back to substance, right? Always want to have that family culture, that connection that has to be amplified. Bro, it's gotten so well that one of our veterans, a female veteran, served our country for 8 years in the Navy. She stepped up. She saw the need, right? She was so inspired by what we've been doing. She's been following me on social media, and she finally reached out. Did you know? I'm, I'm a veteran, served our country in the Navy for 8 years. She's like, she gave me like a long thing, and I don't read, right? So, of course, Amanda read it. Um, she said that she needed help. Okay, and right away, I called her, right, through a DM. Told her, gave her my phone number, like, let's talk. Matter of fact, let's meet. She was like, well, how soon are you available? I said, I'm available yesterday, meaning now. Let's meet now. So I asked her, we welcomed her in. She poured her heart out, right? So there's a huge misconception, from people that've never been homeless, and they have this thing, about homeless people, like they're drugs, or they don't want help. Like, yeah, they're correct. Certain aspects, right? They're correct, but not all of them. Actually, most of them want to get out of that situation. They just don't know how,
Mm.
right? It's very difficult when you're dealing with disability, right? Like, you have back surgery. Yeah, you're able to walk, you're able to use the restroom on your own, you're able to cook on your own. That means they're physically able to do their own ADLs, which is activity of daily livings. However, like living in a shelter, sleeping on mats, on the concrete, that mess up, your mat, that mess up a lot of things, your
Yeah,
mental health, right? Like it beats you down. So they just need somebody to handhold them, like come with
I
me,
got you. Yeah.
right?
Mm.
So we did that for her right away, bro. The moment she moved in, she texted me, and I told her, like, please text Abe. So she's been texting Abe, right? And then I created a group chat, just me, her, and Abe. And then she's always like proactive. Hey guys, like last night, bro. Who didn't even tell her, right? She was like, hey guys, I'm in Henderson food pantry. I'm getting a bunch of food for all our houses. Keyword, our houses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She hasn't
Mm.
met even met the other family members yet from different houses. Yet she's already treating them that they're their family, that they're her
Yeah.
family. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, family culture really works.
I think a good patriarch probably helps too.
Yeah, like pace,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Somebody.
okay. I was referring to you, Chino, but yeah, look at you. Come on. You're some
Uh,
little pat. I I want to be cognizant of time here.
yeah.
Um, I am curious, and my concern with asking this is that it's going to lead to more questions. But um, is there like an average duration that somebody comes into one of your houses and stays in the houses? I know that they're family forever, but is there like an average duration that somebody's staying in there and going, okay, my time here in the
Mhm.
location of the family is done. Yeah, I want to make room for more
Right.
family
So
members.
they can stay there forever. The longest that we've had, for as long as I've been doing this, 4 years.
Okay.
He's he was with us for that long, and the only reason why he's no longer with us because he passed away. And he was our oldest, 94 years old.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he started when he was already 90, right?
Yeah.
And the youngest that we've had was 20 years old. Um, we always tell them you can stay as long as you want to, right? Not need to,
Yeah.
or as long as you want to, because at the end of the day, it's your decision to be part of this, right? We're just showing you the light, right? Showing you the passage.
Mm.
So, to a point where, like they're not applying the 4 stages of housing. right? Which is, some of them have graduated from stage two, which is independent living home, to now affordable housing. Now they have a housing voucher that they can use, like Section 8, right? Or maybe HUD-VASH or any subsidies, right? Like a housing voucher from any local agencies. And yesterday at a meeting with one of our veterans, we went over these options. Another service that we're providing now is free credit repair for our veterans. Yeah. So this individual, his credit score started boosting up, right? What credit repair service that he's getting from our affiliates, our partners. Um, he's on stage four. So it's prepping him for stage four, which is path to ownership, which is least option in our world, right?
Mm.
So I broke it down when you're ready. This potential numbers, these numbers fluctuate. They decrease, increase, we can discuss it. So the timeline is whenever they're ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I figured you were going to say. Yeah. So I normally ask guests, well, before I ask you this, where's the best place people can reach out to you if they want to connect specifically in Vegas, or they just want to learn more about what you're doing, somehow get involved? What's the best way for somebody to connect?
So the best way to connect with me is my phone number, 702-595-4154. It's 702-595-4154. But only from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific time. You cannot contact me. I will not answer you at 7:01. Please be mindful that I have to serve our people and I also have to run a business. So I run my business, my real estate business, from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. The rest until late at night, I serve the less fortunate, primarily focus on serving our veterans. So that if you want to get a hold of me after 7 a.m., well, you can't. Go DM me on both Instagram or Facebook, right? It's Chino Monte. And then my assistant will answer you and we'll schedule something, with you before 7 a.m. Pacific time, any day.
Amazing. This is the assistant you mentioned. This is fairly new. Is that correct?
No, well, I think my team hired her about almost 6 months ago.
Oh, okay. Okay. This was my first interactions with her, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, okay. So normally I ask books. What recommendations? We talked about this ahead of time. You're not a reader. Are there any podcasts or anything like that that you listen to that you're?
So, bro, I will always be biased because I have loyalty issues. That means once we're once I love you, once I hug you as a friend, I keep you as family, right? So go read Pace's book, Wealth Without Cash. Go buy it. Buy it on Amazon, buy it everywhere. Wealth Without Cash. Have I read the book? No, I don't read. I have his actual book. I actually hosted Pace's book tour here in Vegas. We had a long line waiting for him, and I was the last person that he signed that book.
Nice.
Yeah, so, yeah. Go read his book. Go follow him on social media, Pace Morby, as well as YouTube channel. He now has a podcast called The Pace Morby Show.
Yep. Okay. So there you go. All things pace.
Yes.
You really can't go wrong there. When your time on this earth is done, Chino, what do you want to be remembered for by the people that you've left behind?
To always make it about the other person.
Hmm.
It's never about you. It's always about them. You know where I learned that from?
Well, there's a couple places that come to mind. My guess is going to be the Bible.
No, I've never read the Bible, Nathan.
Okay, yeah.
I've never,
I should have known from our previous.
yeah. However, the person that I learned this from, um, somebody told me that the way they teach is very LDS, very
Wait,
Mormon like,
okay.
pace pace.
Yeah. Okay.
So when Pace and I, when we have our one-on-one conversation called one-on-one mastermind event, it's just me and him, right, in Vegas. Like he takes me to bro, like Pace is freaking incredible. Like once you win his love, he will open doors for you that you could only dream of, like multi-billionaire rooms.
Mm,
Insane, right? And on the way to those events, those private mastermind events, we're always like, like connecting, right? Like wholeheartedly.
mm,
And then he's always reminding me in a very nice way. Remember, it's never about you, it's always about them. So go serve your people even more.
yeah.
Yeah,
That so Pace was one of the three guesses, and then the other one was how to win friends and influence people. But because you said you didn't read, I threw that one away and didn't listen to that same advice about the Bible. I appreciate you being here, bro.
yeah,
Um,
it's the same
yeah,
here.
we're coming up out of time. Are there any like little last things that you want to leave the audience? You've dropped so much already, but is there any like last little tidbits?
Sure, always lead with compassion,
Mm,
right? Serve them wholeheartedly. There's no overthinking it. There's no systems. Serve them just like how you would serve your immediate family. How you would love, respect, and protect your immediate family. Do the same for others.
love it, bro. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you, brother.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah. If you need anything, you know where to find me. Have
I will reach out once I branch out.
yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate you, dude. Have a blessed rest of your day, and go help some more people.
All right. Thank you.
Later. That was Chino Monte. Like he said there at the end, lead with compassion, lead with servitude, lead with the other person's interests in mind. Amazing, amazing individual. Very blessed to have had him on the show as he goes out and expands his area of operations into Oregon. If you're up in the Oregon area and you're looking to help out an amazing cause like this, you have any resources, definitely reach out to Chino. If you're just looking to connect, he's an amazing person to connect with. As always, networking with Nathaniel is live on Thursdays excuse me, Helping Hands Hour is live on Thursdays at noon Eastern time. If you're still here and you haven't liked and subscribed the channel yet, do so. Like the video so we can reach more people. Subscribe to the channel so you can get notified every time we go live or every time a new video drops. See y'all next week.